Good morning, Cattle Market News. Shayleste Stewart here with your Cattle Market News tip sheet brought to you in part by DTN. I'm sorry this report is coming to you just a day late this week. My apologies. Nevertheless, it's going to encompass all the good news, all the findings of last week's market. That way you can be cognizant and aware of why things are trading, why things are transpiring this week as they are. But it would be grossly inappropriate if we did not start out this report by saying our thoughts and prayers are with everyone that has been affected by the school shooting yesterday in Texas. My thoughts and prayers go out to the family members of the children that will no longer run off the school bus or run outside the building to greet their mom and dad. My thoughts and prayers go to the family members of the two teachers that were lost yesterday. And we need to pray vigorously, relentlessly for the grandma that's in critical condition, fighting for her life. And I think one of the biggest takeaways that we can all agree upon about yesterday's event is that we are failing our children. We are failing our children. And I think the absolute first place that we can start to do better on behalf of our children is by being the prayer warriors that we are called to be. You guys, let's pray over those families. We who are not in their reality can't even imagine what they're going through right now. We can't pretend, we can't imagine. We understand it'd be hard. We understand that it'd be devastating. We understand that it'd be life altering and changing, but we're not going to be broken and we're not going to mourn as those families will. But you know what we can do? We can pray and we can lift those families up. And so please join me in doing so. And let's be consistent about that. Let's pray for our children. Let's pray for everyone in this country, in this world, because it's a dark place, but we can add a little light and we can make it better by being the prayer warriors that we're called to be. So let's do better, folks, and we can start right there. Let's go ahead and get you caught up on the cattle market last week, starting with your Friday to Friday livestock contract changes. Throughout the week last week, June live cattle fell 50 cents. August live cattle fell 80 cents, and May feeder cattle fell $4.47 throughout the week, and August feeder cattle fell $4.10 throughout the week. Jumping right on into that cash cattle trade, on Tuesday is when most of the cash cattle market, on Tuesday is when we saw the bulk of last week's cash cattle market. There was a little bit of cleanup trade Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, but largely most of your trade took place on Tuesday. In the Southern Plains last week, your live cattle traded for $1.36 to $1.39, mostly at $1.38, and that is considered $2 lower. In the Northern Plains, dress cattle sold for $2.23 to $2.28, mostly at $2.26, and that is considered $3 lower. Not only do prices matter, but also volumes. So last week's volume of negotiated cash cattle sales totaled 89,873 head, with 56% of your nearby, or with 56% of the total volume being committed for your nearby delivery, and 44% of the volume being committed for the deferred delivery. Again, it's going to be so critical, so important to continue to watch that deferred delivery component of the market, because that's how packers are going to pad their inventory so they don't have to support the cash cattle market moving forward. So please continue to watch that. It's very important. I was surprised to see it upwards of 89,000 head, just simply because over the past couple weeks, packers have bought so many cattle out of the cash cattle market. I expected it to be significantly lower than that, so that's good. Let's hope that it is as strong and it is as robust as it possibly can be. That's very important for the market moving forward. Let's get you caught up on some of the specifics of last week. Last week's estimated weekly slaughter came in at 680,000 head. That is 23,000 head more than the week before, and 8,000 head more than a year ago. That is a very key component to the health and well-being of our market moving forward, you guys. We have to continue to watch how fast processing speeds packers run, because that'll indicate how fast we're going to be able to get through these record numbers of on-feed supplies. So very good last week. I hope that we continue to see as aggressive slaughter moving forward. Last week for your box beef trends, choice cuts averaged $261.03, up $4.08 from the previous week, and select cuts averaged $245.79, up $2.61. Both very good. Moving into Memorial Day weekend, hopefully that'll incentivize packers to continue to run aggressive processing speeds, to continue to somewhat support the cash cattle market, and buy more cattle, because we need them to be picking up these cattle, and we need the market to be supported in order to get through the summer without sustaining substantially lower lows. Last week's movement of cuts granted grains and trim totaled 525 loads. Let's go ahead and talk about your carcass weights for the week ending May 7th, 2022. Steers coming in at less than 900 pounds. For the week ending May 7th, 2022, steers came in at 898 pounds, down 3 pounds from the previous week and up 2 pounds up 2 pounds higher than a year ago. Heifers averaged 831 pounds, down 2 pounds from the week before, but still 5 pounds higher than a year ago. Moving into your fresh beef imports, again, the 3 largest importers were, as always, Canada, Mexico, and Brazil at 23,593 metric tons. That is 25% higher compared to a year ago. Exports last week totaled 23,300 metric tons, with Japan, South Korea, and China being your 3 largest buyers. Let's talk about Friday's cattle on feed report. It was mostly bearish. The market didn't like to see significantly higher on feed numbers. We didn't like to see that more cattle were placed, and marketings were just okay. But I think that it's so important to remember that while everyone is so correct in saying that we have record numbers of cattle on feed, I think it's also fair to say that we have record numbers of cattle not on feed. There are significantly fewer cattle roaming the countryside than a year ago, and at some point, the pendulum of the market is going to swing, and that is going to favor sellers. So while this report is kind of bearish and it's kind of gloomy and we don't like it, thankfully it didn't affect this week's trade on Monday and on Tuesday, and it's not really affecting it here on Wednesday either. So keep moving forward, stay vigilant in understanding these markets, and we have to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly, just so that you have a sober reality of what the market is interpreting and consuming. So last week your on feed numbers totaled 12,000. I'm going to start that over. Last week, your on-feed numbers totaled 12 million head, up 2% from a year ago. Placements totaled 1.8 million head, down 1% from a year ago. Marketings totaled 1.89 million head, down 2% from a year ago. Jumping right on into that feeder cattle trade. Again, we're starting to see some new crop calves work their way into the marketplace. They're not being sought with very much aggression, just simply because it's a long time to feed new crop calves. There's not been quite enough moisture to really say I feel comfortable kicking them out yet. And if they're going to have feed to kick out on. And so your heavier feeders are still seeing more demand, and everybody keeps noting that this market feels like it's ahead of where it's actually at, that it feels more like June than May. So let's work through the regions as we did last week, starting in your north central region. That is Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, North and South Dakota, Nebraska, and Iowa. Your 600 to 700 pound steers traded for $1.80. That is steady with the previous week. Your 700 to 800 pound steers traded for $1.68. That is $1 stronger than the week before. And your 800 to 900 pound steers traded for $1.56. That is $1 weaker than the previous week. Jumping into your south central region, that is New Mexico, Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, and Missouri. Your 500 to 600 pound steers traded for $1.84. That is $1 weaker than the week before. Your 600 to 700 pound steers traded for $1.69. That is $2 cheaper than the week before. And your 700 to 800 pound steers traded for $1.54, and that was $3 softer than the previous week. And last but certainly not least, in your southeastern region, that is Arkansas, Louisiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, and North and South Carolina. Your 400 to 500 pound steers traded for $1.81. That is $1 cheaper than the previous week. Your 500 to 600 pound steers traded for $1.70. That is $3 cheaper than the previous week. And your 600 to 700 pound steers traded for $1.57. That is $2 cheaper than the week before. So nevertheless, folks, I hope that you have a good week ahead of you. I hope that you are busy in all of the good ways that life gives you. And be prayer warriors. Those folks really need it. Our children need it. Be prayer warriors, folks. Take care. Shayleste Stewart here with your cattle market news tip sheet. We'll catch you next week. Take care. Bye-bye.